Are we live on Facebook?
We are.
We're live on Facebook, everyone! Make some noise! Thank you very much for attending this lecture at Automechanika in association with, this lecture is in association with Morris Lubricants, because I'm a brand ambassador for the Fibrous Oil Company. First of all, I'm just going to play you a very short video, and then I will be doing a presentation on turning dreams into reality. So, here we are. Can we have some noise, please? Some sound.
Prestigious motorsport event in the entire world, and I just cannot believe that I've just raced at Le Mans. My lap times are just coming down and down and down and down, really pushing it.
So we have an automatic play to play it again there. Right. Making dreams a reality. That is the title of my presentation. So if I just click on this, play, hopefully it'll be big. There we go. I've got a clicker. Right. Okay, everyone. So if you don't know who I am, my name's Rebecca Jackson, and I'm a racing driver, TV presenter and motoring journalist, and I do the What Car video reviews. I've got a column in the Telegraph, and I'm brand ambassador for Morris Lubricants. These are the sponsors that I'm working with this year, and this is some of the media titles that I've appeared in, and these are some of my previous brand partners. So, making dreams a reality. Many people have dreams. Hopefully everyone has a dream or several. The first thing to establish is, what is your dream? So my dream was to be on television talking about cars, because I'm totally and utterly car mad. I ran a car business for 11 years. When I was at university, I would grab hold of any mech-eng student that I could find so that we could just gibber about cars. I've grown up with them, and I'm a born performer, so I love the camera. So for me, being on television talking about cars and going motor racing were my dreams. It's exactly what I wanted to do. For other people, it could be setting up a yoga business, or it could be setting up a university or a school. After establishing what my dream was and what really made me tick, what I enjoyed doing, the next thing to do was to make a plan. That plan can change, but certainly in the first instance it was to make a plan. So to be on the television talking about cars, I just grabbed hold of the cars that I had in stock in my car business and just made reviews with a really poor camera actually and terrible sound quality, but it got me found by Auto Express. It also got me found by ITV. So I did I Want That Car and did the car buyer video reviews for 2.5 years. Then I moved on to the Telegraph, and I'm now with What Car, but have retained my writing position at the Telegraph. We're not doing video anymore there. So that was my plan. That's what I did to make it happen. And identifying key growth areas. So with the presenting, I looked at the YouTube comments, and those that were really, really kind, I said, oh, that's so lovely. Those that had constructive feedback in them, I thought, right, okay, I need to make some changes there and develop. And those that were just outright nasty, I ignored. Identify key growth areas, that's your team. The people that you surround yourself, your partner, your friends, your family, in racing, the mechanics, the engineers, the marketing team, everyone is so important because you do not achieve great things on your own. Mindset. So in terms of mindset, it could be fitness that helps you with your mindset. It could be meditation, positive affirmations, but certainly mindset is absolutely essential. You have to believe that you are going to make it, and you also have to be able to overcome obstacles and deal with failure. And actually failure is so important, because if you aim to do 30 press-ups, or you aim to do 20 comfortably, and you do 25, the person who aimed to do 30 has failed because they didn't get to 30, they only got to 25. But actually, if you comfortably aim for 20, you've done 20. So it's much, much better to fail, actually. And learn from it, absolutely. So spotting opportunities as well. And opportunities can show themselves in various different ways. And I'll talk more about that when I speak more about my projects. And taking action, 90% of people apparently do not take action. So they do all this learning, all this visualization, plans, etc., and then they don't actually do anything. I mean, these autograph cards, you've got one on each of your seats. The race suit, we knew that everything was happening in quite a short space of time. The race suit arrived on the Monday. I had already lined up the printers and the photographer. So on the Monday night, we did a quick 1 hour shoot, loads of different locations to get loads of different options, lined up the printers for the Tuesday, and it was all in time so that we could have these autograph cards ready for the Friday event. So it was about taking action rather than saying, oh, well, the suit's not arriving until Monday, I can't make it happen. And I've had sponsors say yes at the last minute, and we've had an embroidery patch done that weekend, just taking action. And analysing as well, and I will speak more about that as this presentation continues. So how did I start motor racing? I had my used car sales business, and I bought a 35-year-old Porsche 924 for £5,000, and I just went racing. I took action. I decided that's what I want to do. So I raced that in year 1 and year 2, and in my second season I got 5 podiums, including a race win. So I thought, okay, I can do this. Let's take it a little more seriously. That's when I launched Project Le Mans. So little Rebecca, racing a 35-year-old club level 924 says, I'm going to race at Le Mans. And actually some people laughed at me, but I also had a lot of supporters. I launched the project at another motoring event, Autosport. Am I allowed to say that at Automechanika? And this was what I raced 3.5 years into the project. So if you look at this and you look at that, you think, oh my goodness me, how on earth do you go from that to that? What a ginormous leap. And it is. It's a bold project, and hey, why not? You only live once. So I needed to plot a plan first of all, and I'm hoping that this video is going to work. And have we got sound? It's quite an old video because it is from the 924, but you can see in front of me there is a horrible mess of cars spinning and crashing into each other, and I plotted my route. So this little princess wobbly thing on the dash, a little green turtle, and then I was sponsored by Turtleworth for 3 years. Anyway, the race is underway, and we're coming up to the first turn of Brands Hatch, Paddock Hill Bend, very brave, scary corner. We've already a little bit of contact there, and if you look, as we go around the corner, there is chaos. If you look at look, cars everywhere, crash, crash, whoa, whoa, there she goes, through the middle, whoa! Yes. I plotted my route. So, Autosport International, I've launched Project Le Mans, I was interviewed, and I was asked, what are you going to do this year? And I said, I'm going to win the Production Boxster Championship. And in my head, I thought, oh my God, I can't believe I just said I'm going to win a championship. You know, it's my 3rd year of racing, it's going to be my 1st year in the Boxster, and guess what? I didn't even own the Boxster yet. I secured £15,000 worth of parts to convert a road-going 986 into a racing car. I found one in the trade, and I was very, very fortunate. I needed it for a photo shoot for the Sun newspaper, so I had to get a car, and I thought if it's not good enough to race, I'll just chuck it back into the trade. If it is good enough for race, then I am a very lucky girl. And it's also my favourite colour, which is Guards Red. It's a very, very lucky colour. So I found the car, did the photo shoot, had a team put together all of the parts that I'd secured at the show to turn it into a racing car, and then I won the Production Boxster Championship. Mindset. In season 2, I needed to do longer races, so part of the plan was, okay, you can sit in the car for 20 minutes, can you sit in the car for 45 minutes? And everyone said, oh, you need to really up your training, it's going to be so much more difficult. 45 minutes in a Boxster compared with 20 minutes in a 924, honestly, was much, much easier. The 924 got incredibly hot, loads of exhaust fumes were coming in. I mean, I loved it, but this felt like pure luxury in comparison. We won our class at the Burkitt 6-hour relay race, and we had lots of podiums as well. Okay, so next, year 3, into the project. So we've done Boxster, Boxster. Now, okay, she's won the championship in a Boxster. She can pedal a 924, but can she handle a real car? A really powerful lunatic car. So this is a 911 ex-Carrera Cup car. No driver aids, lots of power, engine in the rear. You can get a proper tank slapper on with a 924 and still bring it back. A Boxster or a 911, back comes round, that's what you need to do. You do not want to be going like this in a 911 or a Boxster, because you'll be saying goodbye black stuff and hello grass. Or worse still, gravel and being stuck there. So I qualified in the wet on slicks. That was a baptism of fire and earned me respect with the team. We had a great season, and it was the essential step up. And part of that analysis is actually being your own worst critic. So it's all very well being positive, but if it rains and you don't have an umbrella, you're going to get wet. So in year 3, I had to say, can I pedal a cup car? And there's my team. So my fantastic team, and I was, these two guys here build, here and here, they build military defence vehicles, and they were with me for 3 seasons. When I moved up to the 911, I asked the team owner if I could bring my 2 mechanics with me, because they were absolutely brilliant. Once you find good people, you really have to keep hold of them. I've been working with Jess from Jet Social for quite a few years now, another golden member of my team. So then year 4, and when you can imagine, this is not long ago that I was racing a 924, I'm now in a mini JCW, mini challenge car, which is a feeder series to British touring cars. I raced this Scuderia Cameron Glickenhaus, the LMP3 car, this BMW at VLN and at the Dubai 24 Hour, and the KTM GT4. So I had, it actually started off terribly this year, because I was supposed to be racing this in the Dubai 24 Hour, and my teammate crashed the car. I was devastated. I thought, that's it, Project Le Mans out of the water. I don't know what I'm going to do. My drive fell through for the year as well. I really lost my motorsport mojo. And I had to, dig deep and dust myself off and come up with something. And Writer Engineering approached me, and they had the Writer Young Stars programme. And they invited me to drive the KTM GT4, which they co-developed with KTM. And it was the Writer Young Stars programme. It was a great programme. They had sponsorship on every single car, and then the drivers would bring their own personal sponsorship as well. And I finished 3rd in the Writer Young Stars Championship, and fulfilled my dream, and I raced at Le Mans in an LMP3 car at the main 24-hour event in the Road to Le Mans support race, and it was incredible. So the LMP3 car is very, very darty. It's very excitable. I tested it first at Paul Ricard and then raced it at Le Mans. And down the Mulsanne Straight, it sort of goes like this because it's a road. So if you need, well, you do need to go from one side to the next to come up for the first chicane. And you just, a little bit of steering input and whoosh, you're over there. And it also makes quite a lot of noise in the cabin and it vibrates a lot. And I said to the team, is that normal? Is that okay? Yes, keep your foot flat down. So I did. You know, you have absolute faith in your engineers and in your mechanics. Your life is in their hands, effectively. And when you come off the throttle and onto the brake, because of the downforce and how the car works, you need to come immediately off and straight onto the brake because you need that downforce for your braking capacity. And also testing it at Paul Ricard versus Le Mans, because Le Mans is a street circuit, we had a different amount of downforce. So it was very much diving in at the deep end, and in the testing with the light coming down, shining right in your eyes under the Toyota gantry, but you still foot flat down. You have to know and you have to have that faith. So throughout Project Le Mans, there were 3 areas which I really needed to focus on quite heavily, and I said identify key growth areas. So number 1 was sponsorship. So you know what? It's quite expensive to race at Le Mans. It's quite expensive to go motor racing, full stop. And I needed to secure enough sponsorship, and I needed to convince my sponsors that they were with me for the entire journey. So Turtle Wax, for example, I worked with them for 3 years and effectively had to re-pitch them every year. Nobody comes along and just says, here, have some money to go motor racing. You know, it's a business deal. What are the sponsors getting out of it? And also the team changed each year with some of the sponsors. So I needed to sort of, you know, sell the project, again, present how we had performed. So yes, sponsorship needed to increase each year, and I set a target, and I do that now. I have a spreadsheet, I have my yearly target, I have all the sponsors that I'm pitching, how much I'm pitching for, how much I'm likely to close, how much I've actually closed, and it auto-totals at the bottom, which then auto-totals a percentage of yearly target met. Yes, that is quite left brain for someone who's so, you know, media darling. You have to be very engineering and mechanical about this. So number 1, sponsorship. Number 2, media exposure. If the media exposure is not there, the sponsorship is not there. So you have to make sure that the media exposure is a sufficient level to keep the sponsors happy. So I secured £1 million worth of media exposure in Project Le Mans when I was, at the beginning of it, relatively unknown. Now the media exposure is £5.3 million per annum, so we well and truly got that ball rolling. And the third one was driver development. So I've worked very hard and still do on the sim, with my training, with my physical training, 3 strengths and 4 cardios a week. Yoga, which has a combined effect of being good for overall fitness and core strength, and also giving the mind a break from talking and laptop and phone and such like. So those were the 3 areas which needed to grow each year. And they have to be musts. It's not an, oh, I would like to go to the gym to be fit for my racing. It's a must. And as well, I am in a male-dominated industry, and it doesn't matter what we say, men are naturally stronger. So I need to make sure that I am strong enough so that when I sit in the car, I'm battling this awesome racing car, and it's not a physical issue for me. So I'm very strong. So what does 2018 have in store? 2018, I am one of the founding members, driver club members for the Electric GT Championship. We love big petrol engines, yes we do. However, electric vehicles are coming more and more into fruition, and by 2040 they're banning the sale of all diesel and all petrol, not hybrid yet. So the future of racing will involve electric vehicles and alternative fueled vehicles. So I was very fortunate to test this car before Christmas, and I was very, very impressed with it. This is the fun one. This is the really cute little Herbie. So this is being generated in Photoshop. I don't actually race with those eyes, although those could be my eyes when something's going a little bit funny on the race circuit. So this is being resprayed at the moment, and it will be ready for the next race on the 24th of June. And it's an absolute blast. There's about 48 cars on the circuit, and Herbie performs very well. It's very quick actually, and it beats cars that it shouldn't beat. Okay, so we've had Project Le Mans. We have now got Project Monaco. So my dream now is to race at Monaco in Super Cup, supporting the Formula One. So what am I going to do to get there? Clearly I'm going to race a Cup car. So this is Porsche's latest Cup car. It's a 2018 model, the 991. It's more powerful than the outgoing Cup car. It also has a ton load more torque. I tested 2 days last week with Welch Motorsport. We've got some racing and testing lined up this year, full season in the car next year, and it is like a 911 behaves. You know, you've got to get the steering wheel straight, and it squats down and propels itself out of the corners, but I'm having to do more driver development again, because it's very, very different to the 997 Cup car that I raced in 2015. And like I said before about mindset and things going wrong, my season actually started badly because I was supposed to be racing in the Audi TT Cup on the DTM package, and they binned the entire championship. So I was frantically scurrying around trying to look for alternative drives and what can I do and keep the sponsors happy and keep my training going, even though I didn't have a car to focus on anymore. But it looks like I'm back in the Porsche brand, which is not a bad thing. I raced them for 5 years, and they're very rewarding cars to drive. And of course Herbie came about as well, which was a complete surprise and is a lot of fun. So I have closed my car business down. I no longer have a used car sales business. It served me well for 11 years. But the same thing that I was saying with mindset, it wasn't making me happy anymore. And I'm normally a very happy, buoyant, positive person. And the last few months I identified, actually, it's not for me anymore. So I closed it a few months ago, and now I have 2 new projects alongside 2 racing projects. So Inspire Ltd is an inspirational group of products for children under the age of 10, because I believe that you should start children as early as you possibly can. Girls, but not leaving the boys out. You know, I saw some awful t-shirts like "My brother did my homework" and I'm a dream, I'm a princess. Yeah, okay, that's great, you know, I'm a princess too, but I'm also a badass racing driver and businesswoman. So I really would like children at a very young age to believe in themselves and to believe that they can achieve whatever they want to achieve. So I have a range of children's books, and I've read them at a children's centre for children that have got special needs, and it was so rewarding. They were just adorable. All educational, but also fun. These are the characters. We've got Rebecca Racer and her best friend Ruben Racer, and we've got a mixture of boys and girls in the book. So we've got 2 engineers, one's a boy, one's a girl. The bus driver on the way in here said gents, and I said, what about the ladies, you know? Okay, so my other project is 5-star race retreats. We're going to do 3, 2 at Silverstone and 1 at the Nürburgring. If you're interested in that, just drop me a line or email me at info@rebeccaracer.com. That's the end of my presentation, but actually when you're racing, you see the checkered flag, then you have your cool down lap where you can just reflect and you can have a look at your dash, especially if you're driving a classic. Make sure it's not overheating, you know, make sure it's happy, and we've got an oil light on or something horrible like that. So here we're going to reflect on the presentation. Dreams and dedication are a powerful combination. And then after you've had your cool down lap, you go into Parc Fermé. So what I would like you to do now is take a picture of this screen, because I would like to gain more followers. Why not? I will speak back to you if you tweet at me or Instagram at me. Share your motoring content as well. And also I'm going to open up the floor if anybody has any questions at all. I don't bite much. Has really no one got any questions for me? I'm really not that scary, I promise. I know I move around a lot.
How long did it take to get the race package with Porsche?
Hi Rebecca.
Yeah.
So I'm finding out that you lost the driver with the Audi TT. I follow you obviously, and
Yeah.
you were devastated with it. How long was it before you actually got the race with the Porsche package?
So I think it has been about probably a month or a month and a half. I think about a month, yeah. So there's a video on YouTube. I've got a green top on, and I do look quite miserable in some of it, because I was quite miserable because I just found out that my whole drive had fallen through. And then I got straight on the phone to loads of teams. I got in contact with Porsche, the Carrera Cup and Porsche UK, and I sent out feelers everywhere. I spoke to lots of different teams, lots of different types of cars, just to try and find something else to do, and then put everything into the pot. So putting out all the feelers, and I attracted phone calls from teams as well. And then once everything was in the pot and I could assess it and analyse and think what is best for my racing career and my sponsors. I think there was another question over here somewhere.
Hi there. Are you finding that you're inspiring other female drivers as well? They're more out there now?
I would like to think that I inspire men and women, boys and girls, but yes, you're absolutely right, especially the young girls, the really, really young girls. So I did a TV show last year, CBBC, and at the mini races, there were some very, very young girls saying, "Oh, are you Rebecca from Superchargers?" And it was so adorable, and it was just great to see that these young girls, they don't have many inspirational role models in motoring and in motorsport. So if I can help to inspire those girls, then absolutely yes, I would say life goals tick. Yeah. Anyone else, or are you all very, very shy? You're all shy. Okay, so all of you have got a card. Have they all got a card on their seats? And I do have a pen here. Yes, I do. I have a permanent marker here. So I will sign your card if you would like my Rebecca Racer autograph. If you don't, thank you ever so much for listening, but hopefully you do. Thank you very much for attending, and I hope you have found it interesting or beneficial or both. And thank you very much, Morris Lubricants.